Hello, can I have your name?
Yes, Michael Holmes.
I have Tanner Holmes in the waiting room. I'm assuming that's going to be Sarah
Yeah, I would.
using
Yeah.
like his login or something. All right, 1 second. Sarah, can you hear me okay?
I can. My
right.
video doesn't seem to want to work. So is that a problem?
It's not. Don't worry
Okay.
about it.
All right, thanks.
Give me 1 second. All right, we will go ahead and get started calling the case of Sarah Holmes versus Michael Holmes. This is case number 2017-034953-DM. We are here regarding the motion to modify the parenting time schedule. Present, I have both parties by Zoom, Mr. Holmes with visual and audio, and Ms. Holmes with audio only. I believe this was Mrs. Holmes' motion regarding parenting time. As I understand it, the controlling order is joint legal and joint physical custody with a 2-2-3 schedule year round. Before we get into any discussions regarding this, I just want to ask you both, have you had the opportunity to discuss what's being requested today, and has there been an agreement reached?
Yeah, we didn't agree to anything. We have discussed it at great lengths and we do not agree.
Okay, and is that an accurate statement, Mr. Holmes?
Yeah, we've had some communication back and forth over email, and we haven't come to an agreement on that. And just a quick comment up front. Did you get my response to the parenting time motion? I know I didn't get the copy back from the clerk's office in the mail until today. I just wanted to make sure you have that in front of you because I mailed it in.
I do not. Let me check really quickly to see if it's been uploaded since I last looked at the file.
I was a little concerned about that because I didn't get the original motion in the mail till last. It was either, I've got it in front of me here. So I think Sarah had this certification of mailing on 4/29. So the time I got that, which was a Thursday or Friday, got the response and mailed it last month, well, a week ago today. I had sent it to Sarah with the certification of mailing, but I wasn't sure if you were going to get that in time.
I don't have a copy of your response. However, I have a copy of her response to your response, and that looks like that's an email.
Is there a way?
Her response is about 27 pages. Ms. Holmes, does your response include his response or no?
No, but I have it here if you want me to email it over.
Okay, you can, but if it's going to require me to review all of that, I can take some oral arguments from each of you right now. However, these hearings are 15 minutes. I can't have a full hearing today. I would have to reset this matter, or after hearing from both of you regarding the motion and the response, I can decide whether or not to refer this matter. Okay.
Okay.
So let me ask you, Ms. Holmes, to go ahead and indicate what you are requesting today and why. Mr. Holmes, I'll give you an opportunity to respond, and we'll see where we're at after that. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Holmes.
I would like to go to week on, week off during the summer because we can never come to an agreement on what the kids should do for camps, how to split costs. It's been 3 to 4 years of just pure frustration, and I can't see how it would negatively affect the children in any way, shape, or form. And I even had a conversation with them yesterday to make sure that they would be okay with it. And they said they would be. It's just extremely stressful trying to communicate with my ex-husband and come to any decisions just to keep things short and sweet. I mean, I feel like he probably should have a chance to talk, so he can go ahead and I can, respond to what
Yep.
he has to say.
That's fine. So Mr. Holmes, if you want to go ahead and respond as best as you can, even if you have your response in front of you, if you want to read from that, but you may go ahead now.
Okay. Well, I was hoping you'd have a chance to look at this because I think it's laid out pretty clear in the response. But so I guess primarily like what Sarah used as her initial facts, I strongly disagree with those. I also, in her original motion and what she just explained, I really failed to see any adequate explanation as to how this is in the best interest of the kids. If she was, originally when we went through this divorce, we had discussed week on, week off, and that's originally what I wanted year round. And she was adamant about the 2-2-3. We've been doing that now for about 3 years. It's worked very, very well. There's been no changes to my situation, to her situation. I don't see any benefit to them whatsoever for changing it for 10 weeks just in the summer. And I've told her this year, I mean, she's brought it up last year as well. I'm like, if you want to have the discussion about year round, going to week on, week off, I'm happy to do that. But as far as 10 weeks for the summer, I think you're messing with something that's working well. And I think it's going to be a disruption to the kids at the end of the summer to go from what's working to week on, week off to we're going to go back to 2-2-3. And I don't see any justification on her end to do that right now.
And I understand that, Mr. Holmes. So let me just try to understand. So it was actually your request in the beginning of all of this to have the week on, week off schedule, but since that wasn't agreed to, the 2-2-3 was settled on, or it was ordered, and that's what you guys have been exercising it. But now she's requesting the week on, week off in the summer.
Just for the summer, yes.
Yep. And I'm just going to add, I will say the week on, week off in the summer is a very common schedule. But Ms. Holmes, I'm going to ask you now at this time, what is your reasoning for requesting this week on, week off in the summer only?
Both Mike and I work full time, so they have to go to childcare, and I would rather see them go to these camps or go on vacation. And Mike and I cannot agree on splitting the cost of these camps, whether or not they should go. The email ends up turning into, you should pay for cleats, you should pay for that. Nothing's ever resolved, and I just have thousands upon thousands of emails that just add so much stress to our already busy lives. It's a waste of everybody's time. It would just be so much easier if I could do what I want with the kids, he can do what he wants, and we don't have to communicate. I mean, we've been to court, I've several times over all these miscommunications and these frustrations, and he just does not want to communicate with me. He doesn't want to co-parent, and there's got to be an answer. I'm just looking for an answer to make everybody's life easier, and this is all I can come up with.
So I do want to point out there is an order dated December 10th of 2020, so fairly recently, indicating that the both of you agreed to support 2 activities for the minor children each, and that you would pay for 1/2 of those activities. Is that not happening? I mean, you're discussing the issues with payments of these activities and whatnot.
Yeah, so really with Sarah, I've had multiple instances of her not following the existing court order. So we have, basically what my issue is she chooses what sections to follow when it kind of meets her criteria. So there's part of that. We agreed to my oldest son for him to play on a sports team. We split the full team costs. There were cleats that he needed that his coach specifically said, you need to choose one of these 2 cleats. I asked her how she wanted to handle it. She didn't give me any response. He needed cleats for a tournament. I bought cleats and she didn't give me an answer. I asked her for the reimbursement. I sent her the receipt, refused to pay for it. I actually sent an email response to the friend of the court asking for help with reimbursement. I was told I have to file a motion. I'm not going to do that over a $60 pair of cleats. That makes no sense. I've had other issues with her as recently as last week with medical. She basically green-lighted a chiropractor to do an adjustment on my youngest son along with x-rays. I didn't find out about it until after the fact. And going back to these camps that she's talking about, originally she came to me with some Chippewa Nature Center camps this year. She came to me with the dates. I agreed to a date with her, which was in my response, if you see, and I'm happy to provide the full emails, which maybe that's what she sent you with. She sent you 20 some pages of material. anyways, I responded, we agreed to a week. The issue was over the reimbursement for the cleats. And then also I had through work, I have an FSA with a credit card to get basically that I want the money to come out of because I'm setting it aside for those types of situations. She kind of just ignored all of that. And then I come to find out a couple of weeks ago that the week that we had agreed to, she disregarded and just signed them up for 2 other weeks that would work out with this hypothetical week on, week off schedule for the summer. And there've been a couple other things, and there's been if I could finish, please. There's been a couple other things that she's also done for the summer, already assuming that this hypothetical week on, week off is going to be, basically ordered. So that's where I take issues. I've had repeated situations where she's ignoring the court order. I don't want to fight this over. I want to get on with my life. I don't want to fight over $60. I don't want to spend $100 filing motions and wasting your time over relatively minor things. But the fact is, she's not obeying it right now. And her fact with communication, we communicate. It's just the fact that she wants to do what she wants to do, similar to with these camps. We agree to a week, and then she comes back and just signs them up for 2 other weeks, and then just expects me to comply with that.
Mike,
I say,
did you provide payment
Ms.
for the
Holmes.
camps?
if
Okay.
I could,
Sorry.
she
It's
expects
okay.
me to.
Ms. Holmes, I have you muted at this time because I can't have you interrupting him. I will ask you to unmute yourself in just a moment when he's done. Go ahead, Mr. Holmes.
So what I was saying is we agreed to a week. It's in writing, it's in emails. She came back a couple of weeks later, changed that, didn't sign them up for that week, picked 2 separate weeks that fell in line with this hypothetical week on, week off schedule. I think if you agree to this, basically you're kind of rewarding her for not following the existing court order. If you wanted to go this route, to me, she should have done this months ago before the sign-in date. I mean, it's to say that I'm not communicating with her, to me, is unfair. I am. It's just when she's not getting the answer she wants, she's getting upset. And when I'm still not going along, then she's filing these motions. And there's been a couple other motions she's filed too that have been, in my mind, very frivolous to try to get her, get exactly what she wants with really there's no cooperation is my frustration. And that's kind of where we were even in the fall as well.
Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. Holmes, I'm asking you to unmute yourself. Okay, you may respond now.
Okay, Mike, can you tell me when you provided payment?
Ms. Holmes,
Oh,
you're not
yep.
to have a discussion with one another. You're speaking to me.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Well, Mike he wanted to pay for the camps, but he never gave me any form of payment. So I couldn't pay for the camps. And I also would love to know how I'm not abiding by the court order, because I have to read it all the time. And Mike doesn't allow them to go to the doctor. I'm just trying to remove the stress of trying to work with him. It's not working. The kids do not like us to be in the same area. It's just not healthy for anybody to have to continue down this path. I mean, the less we have to work together, the better off everybody is. And I'm just trying to send these kids to some nature camps. It just really seems like it would be in their best interest to do these things. I hate to see this have to continue for 10 to 12 more years. I don't know what the answer is. Something has to change. I don't know what it is.
Okay. All right. Well, I have personally heard enough at this time regarding your motion for a modification of parenting time. What I have to do is determine whether or not a threshold has been met. That is a proper cause or change in circumstances from the last order. It has not been discussed that there has been a change in circumstances or proper cause significant enough to modify the parenting time schedule at this time. I understand you have indicated, Ms. Holmes, that maybe you're having difficulties with the schedule or the 2 of you are not getting along, but nothing has been mentioned why or what has changed regarding the minor children. Whether it has been, they're a lot older now and, they want to get involved in more extracurricular activities. None of that was explained other than this schedule is difficult and not working for the 2 of you. It sounds like it's working for the children. So at this time, I am going to deny a motion to modify parenting time, okay? I will
Can I
prepare
ask
an
one
order
question?
reflecting that. The two of you will receive a copy of that order. If there are any objections, the two of you are entitled to file an objection. You'll need to file that within 21 days of the certificate of mailing. If you file an objection, you'll have a hearing in front of Judge Borchard, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. We're all set. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Mr. Hetzner, can you hear me okay? Hi, who do I have on the phone ending in 4499? Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's Dan Hetzner.
Dan Hetzner, okay. Are
Yep.
you logged in on two devices?
Oh, yes, I was on the Zoom still. I'm leaving that right now.
Okay.
So, sorry. Yep.
One moment. All right. Do you know anyone by the name of Athena Schuetz?
Say it one more time.
Athena Schuetz?
No.
Okay, one moment. I gotta pull somebody in to see if they're gonna have a hearing with me.
All right.
Sir, can I have your name?
Matthew Matevia.
All right, you're scheduled at 3:15, so I'm gonna go ahead and put you back in the waiting room for a little while, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thanks for waiting, Mr. Hetzner.
Yep.
Have you had any contact with Sarah?
Yeah. Let's see. Well, yeah, within the last few days, yeah.
Okay, does she intend on appearing today?
That's what I had just asked her. I texted her and I said, "Are you waiting, or are you in line already?" And she didn't say anything back to me.
Okay, well, I'm gonna give her a few more, I'll put you back in the waiting room and I'm gonna give her a few more minutes. If she
Okay.
doesn't appear, then we will hold the hearing without her, okay?
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna place you back in the waiting room.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. Hi, can I have your name? Can you hear me okay? I can't hear you. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, and I can hear you. Can I have your
Okay.
name?
Christina Matavia.
Okay. All right, I am going to put you back in the waiting room because
Okay.
you're scheduled at 3:15, but I just needed to pull you in to get your name and get you logged in here.
Okay.
And Mr. Matavia is here as well, so I'll pull you both in when it's time for your hearing, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, who do I have on the phone?
Hello, this is Sarah Staley.
Okay. We were waiting for you.
Sorry, I'm still at work right now, so I had to jump on real quick.
Not a problem. I will bring in Mr. Hetzner right now, okay?
Okay.
All right, Mr. Hetzner?
Yep.
Okay, you guys are both here now, okay?
What's that?
You're both here now for the hearing,
Oh,
okay?
okay. All
All
right.
right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started and call your case.
All right.
This is the case of Sarah Staley versus Daniel Hetzner. This is case number 2014-022846 DM. We are here regarding Daniel's motion to modify the parenting time schedule. For the record, both parties are present by Zoom with audio only. And the controlling order of this matter is dated June 15th, 2015, and it indicates that Sarah has sole legal and sole physical custody, and that Daniel has supervised parenting time once per week. Mr. Hetzner and Ms. Daly, have the two of you had an opportunity to discuss a parenting time schedule, and have you reached an agreement?
I think this was my only thing was that what I was looking for was still, like the same kind of parenting time. Like I was looking for like every other weekend and maybe one day during the week. But the thing that I really wanted was for the where I had to be supervised. I wanted that taken off.
Okay, so Sarah, let me ask you, are you in agreement with removing the supervised parenting time provision?
Yes, I would agree to that.
Okay. And Sarah, are you in agreement with him having parenting time every other weekend?
Yes.
Okay, and that would be Friday to Sunday. You're okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, and are you in agreement with an additional overnight during the week, the following week?
You mean a weeknight?
Well, let me ask Mr. Hetzner, were you
Well,
requesting?
we don't have to do an overnight. No, we don't
Yeah, I
have to
think
do
it's
an
just a
overnight.
day,
I was thinking just, oh, sorry, go ahead, Sarah.
Yeah, so usually it was just Wednesday evening, and then
Yeah.
he would come home due to having transportation to school and whatnot.
Okay, so
So
if I
the
understand,
overnights were just the weekend.
okay. If I understand correctly, it looks like the schedule would be every other Friday to Sunday. And for purposes of my order, unless the two of you want to agree to a different time, it would be Friday at 6 to Sunday at 6. Does that work for you?
That
Yeah,
sounds
that's
good.
fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, and then every Wednesday evening, correct?
Yep.
All right,
Yes.
and would it be Wednesday from after school?
Yeah, just after school until, we've just been doing until Sarah gets out of work, and then,
Which is what time?
I would put in there probably 9 p.m. just for flexibility because
yeah,
sometimes I come earlier and sometimes I come later depending on the day.
Okay, so Wednesday after school, and what time does Holden get out of school?
3:30.
3:30.
Okay, so I will say on every Wednesday after school until 9 p.m. Or if there's no school, for example, if there's a half a day or something, I would just indicate 3:30 until 9 p.m. Does that work?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, and do the two of you want the schedule to be year round?
I think that's fine.
I think that's okay yeah.
Okay, and what are you guys doing for holidays? Do you want to alternate the holidays according to the standard schedule?
Well, we just really just work together, and you know what I mean, like for her parents or her side of the family and mine, and I mean we do pretty well, you know, working out amongst us.
Okay,
So
Sarah,
I
are
mean, you know,
you?
oh no, go ahead.
I agree with that. So I don't need something set in stone unless, you know, that's required. We're just very flexible and we make sure he has family time with both families.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I will indicate that the holidays will be worked out between the parties. And if at any time either of you want a more specific holiday schedule, you would have to file a motion for that, okay?
All right.
Yep.
And when is Mr. Hetzner's first Friday going to be? First weekend?
Um,
Do you want to start it this weekend?
he was just there last weekend,
He
so
was just
it's
there
up
last
to you,
weekend,
Dan.
yeah.
I don't care.
Okay, so then we can do, for the purposes of my order, I'll indicate his first weekend as starting May 21st, and that's
Yeah.
2 Fridays.
That'll
Let's
work.
do
Yeah,
that.
that'll work. That'll
Okay,
work.
that way, yeah, I don't want to change your schedule. All right, May 21st.
No, that's
Friday.
more than that. Yeah.
Okay, was there anything else that the two of you wanted in this order?
No, I think that was about it.
Okay, so what I will do is I will prepare this order according to your agreement. And if anything changes, the two of you are entitled to file an objection to this, although I don't foresee that since you are both in agreement. And you'll receive a copy of this order in the mail. However, it is effective as of today, okay?
Yep.
Do either of you have any questions?
Yep, I
Nope.
have one. We had a Zoom meeting scheduled for last Monday, and we called in and nobody answered.
Yes.
I'm so sorry about that. And I think somebody either told me that or they saw that there was a missed call, because that's why I actually had this rescheduled, because it looked like you guys were trying to get in.
Yeah, May 4th at 1:30 p.m. Is that a different? See, that one I think one's for actual child support.
Right.
And
so
not-
we need to reschedule that then because
Yeah, how-
Yeah, so what I will do is within my order, I will refer the issue of child support to the referee. So
Gotcha.
it won't be in front of me, but you will have another hearing and it'll be regarding child support and it'll consider the new overnights, okay?
All right.
Sounds good.
All
All
right.
right. Thank you.
Yep, you guys are all set. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye.
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 All right, Mr. Mativia.
Yes.
All right, just give me a moment. Your name says Athena, so I'm gonna change that. All right, and are you gonna be represented by Heather Gus today?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll just wait for her. She'll be in a moment.
Okay.
Christina, we are just waiting for Attorney Heather Gust, okay?
Okay.
All right, there she is. Hi, Ms. Gust.
Hi, sorry, I wasn't hearing with Kathy.
That's okay. I figured something like that. All right, we will get started. Calling the case of Christina Mativia versus Matthew Mativia. This is case number 2018-036339DM. We're here regarding Matthew's motion to find Christina in contempt, enforce the order, and for makeup parenting time and attorney's fees. Present, I have both parties by Zoom with visual and audio, as well as Attorney Heather Gust on behalf of Mr. Mativia. Ms. Gust, I will defer to you at this time since this is your motion.
Thank you, ma'am. Heather Gust on behalf of Mr. Mativia. This is my motion. The parties were divorced in April of 2019. They have two minor children, Gavin, age 10, and Braden, age 9. Pursuant to the judgment of divorce, they were awarded joint legal custody, and my client was awarded standard parenting time, with the exceptions that during the summer, he would have alternate weekends and then daytime Monday through Friday with the children. Since July 11th of 2020, Christina has denied my client all of his parenting time. He has, I believe, been allowed to see the children through extended relatives or something like that. So there has been contact with the children, but not under any kind of regular basis and not pursuant to the orders of the court. Ms. Mativia has made no motion with the court to modify the parenting time, so the court order obviously remains in full force and effect. So we feel that she should be held in contempt for her failure to abide by that order. We want the order enforced and we want makeup parenting time.
All right, Ms. Mativia, you may respond to that.
Well, the reason why I told Mr. Mativia that I was not going to allow the children to come to his house anymore is because the children explained to me that while in his care, his now current wife, one of her children, were watching pornography in front of them, and that one of her children made my youngest son, Braden, the 9-year-old, sleep in bed with him in only his underwear and told him not to wake his dad up in the morning, only to wake him up when and that I did file a report with CPS. I told his dad about it, who told both of my boys that they were liars and that they had no right to say any of these things. He has made no real attempt to try to figure out what really happened. He then, since this happened, he got married to her. I don't feel that my children are safe in the home. There's been several other things that have happened in his care, and there have been other CPS actual reports that have occurred when the children have been with Mr. Mativia. I don't feel like my children are safe when they're there with him. And they have, he told me a long time ago that he was going to take me to court. So I never filed anything. I never did anything, given the fact that he said he was going to file papers and take me to court. He anytime he's called the kids, I've let him talk to them, which he doesn't. The last time, once I got the papers and knew that we were coming to court today, the last time he sent a text message or called was April 7th. He did see the kids at my parents' house after that. He doesn't make attempts to see the kids. He never calls me and asks if I would meet him at a park to see them or do anything like that. Last summer, before he stopped, before I did tell him that they couldn't go over there anymore, the Monday through Friday, 12 to 4:30, he flat out refused to do that anymore. He told me that it was stupid and he wasn't going to pick his kids up from 12 to 4:30. He said it was a waste of his gas.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Gus, do you have any follow-up or response to that?
Yes, I mean, I don't know to what extent she's called CPS or not, but obviously CPS is not, there's no case. It doesn't matter what he's done or not done. She has wrongfully withheld these children. Regarding the stepbrother, I don't believe that he even is in that home any longer. So that's not even an issue, even if that was an issue, which we don't believe that it is, but even if it were, that child is not in Mr. Mativia's care, the step sibling. So the orders of the court have to be enforced. Ms. Mativia cannot just take the law into her own hands and say, okay, yep, I don't like it over there, so you can't go anymore. That's not the way things go. So we're asking that the court order, that she be held in contempt, that the court order be enforced. I mean, if the parenting time gets going back to where it was, perhaps we could have something with the makeup parenting time, minimized, or figuring out what to do about that. But at a minimum, we need to get the parenting time resumed.
Thank you. And Ms. Mativia, I'm going to ask you, do you have any ongoing CPS investigations that you know of?
No,
They have all been closed.
yes,
Okay, and were they substantiated at all, or were they all closed without action?
to the best of my knowledge, they were closed without action.
Okay, thank you. Well, at this time, I will enforce the current order. Ms. Mativia, it is still an order of the court. I understand that you have your concerns. I will say this to anyone in any similar circumstances. If you are concerned about the safety of your children, obviously you know how to contact CPS and you've done that before. And you also need to file a motion to change the pairing time. I understand you thought that his actions and filing his motion was sufficient. However, if you're requesting changes, you have to file that motion, okay?
So what do I need to do that?
Let me finish with my order and then I can answer any questions, okay? So you have violated the order, so I am finding you in contempt of court. You have denied parenting time since July 11th of 2020. I will enforce the current parenting time order. I'm not ordering any makeup parenting at this time since there has been a significant period of time that has passed since July 11th of 2020. But that current parenting time schedule is to resume immediately. I believe that was all that was requested. So Ms. Mativia, what was your question? As far as filing a motion, if you have any questions in that regard, you can always send them to foc@saginawcounty.com, okay? We have staff attorneys that are assigned to each case. Those attorneys don't represent you, but they can answer some questions regarding custody and parenting time, okay?
And we did also ask for attorney fees, and then will he have parenting time this weekend?
Yeah, we'll start that right up this weekend. Let me look at the calendar so I can get a date for this. And that was just the current schedule is Fridays through Sundays, correct?
Friday at 6 to Sunday at 6.
All right, so his first weekend of parenting time will begin May 14th. This is in effect immediately. If there are any objections to my order, each party is entitled to file an objection within 21 days of their certificate of mailing on my order. If there are objections filed, that will be heard in front of Judge Borchard. Ms. Gus, regarding attorney's fees, I'm denying a request for attorney's fees at this time. I will prepare the order regarding all of this. Everyone will receive a copy of that within about 2 weeks, okay?
Ask a question. I don't even know where she lives at to pick up my boys. She won't give me the address.
Ms. Gus, is there an exchange location or were they exchanging at each other's home?
I prefer that we exchange at my parents' house.
Okay, well, what is the address of your parents' house?
5829 Tittabawassee Road.
5829 Tittabawassee Road.
Yep,
And what is the zip out there?
48604.
Is that fine, Mr. Mativia? Do you know where they live?
Yeah.
And you can go there on Friday at 6 and on Sunday at 6?
Yep.
Okay, and what about in the summertime? As long as the schedule isn't changing between now and then, the exchanges are during the week from 12 to 4:30. Mr. Mativia, are you in agreement of?
Do a week on, week off, because it's kind of ridiculous that she'd let me have them a week on, week off before. And now she wants me to drive every day. I realize that's what the parenting order is, but there was a time when I had them for a week at a time.
Yep, well, Mr. Mativia, this isn't a motion to modify the schedule at this time. It's simply to enforce what the current order is.
Okay.
The two of you are in agreement with this mutual exchange location, so I have no problem changing that since you two agree to it. But if there's any other changes that the two of you don't agree to, I can't address those today, okay?
Okay.
All right, anything further?
No.
No, thank you.
Okay, and Ms. Gus, I think I have you on the next one anyway.
Oh, okay, I'll stay around.
All right. I think.
It makes me so
Mr.
irked
Creel?
when people chew gum.
What's that?
When people chew gum, it drives me insane.
Who was chewing the gum?
She was just chomping at her
Okay.
gum.
Didn't even dawn on me. Earlier when I let Mr. Mativia in, I had to let him in to see who he was because he had a different name on his Zoom ID and he was smoking a cigarette. I'm like, oh my God. I didn't tell him anything because we weren't in a hearing yet, but
I had another, that's my second smoking cigarette. Judge
that's
Borchard
the
had
first
told
one
my,
I've had, but I hear that a lot of people do it.
yeah, no, Judge Borchard told my client, you're quit smoking. You wouldn't be smoking if you were in court, but he couldn't get on Zoom. So he hurried up and drove to the office and I wasn't there, but my dad put him on. My dad's like, he was wasted. I'm like, oh my God. So he's wasted driving to my office to go on court. And then he's smoking in my office. Like,
Oh my
seriously.
gosh. That's
So-
terrible. I have a Steven Torres. Is that name familiar to you? might be-
No,
A relation to one of these two. And then I have an iPhone. So let me just check to see who they are.
okay.
You recognize him?
But I don't know.
Hello,
Hi, can I have your name, please?
Jabril.
Okay,
Ogumba.
thank you. Hi, can I have your name, please?
You talking to me?
Erica Jackson.
Thank you. One moment.
Bro, go upstairs and do your homework.
All right, we are all here, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Calling the case of Erica Jackson versus Jabril Ogunmola, case number 2009-004-003 DP. We're here regarding Erica's motion regarding custody and parenting time, a modification of custody and parenting time. Present, we have both parties by Zoom with visual and audio, as well as Attorney Heather Gust on behalf of Ms. Jackson. Ms. Gust, I will defer to you at this time since this is your motion.
Thank you, ma'am. Heather Gust on behalf of Erica Jackson. This is my motion. The parties have two minor children, Namarius, born 1/24/2008, age 13, and Jabril, date of birth 10/24/08, age 12. There was, my client historically has had the primary care and custody of the minor children. However, she did become incarcerated at a point in time. After that, Mr. Ogunmola did receive a court order on September 17th, 2019, that he was awarded custody of the children. My client was released from incarceration in March of 2020, and after that, she was seeing the children on a frequent basis. In December of 2020, she expressed some concerns about Jabril's significant other or his wife, whomever it is, disciplining or not acting appropriately with the son. It's our understanding that the son spends a considerable amount of time at the paternal grandparents' home. My client has had daily telephone contact with the children. They do want to see their mother, given the fact of her release from custody. And I do believe the previous order of the court said, until such time as she's released and could petition, but don't quote me on that. The issue of custody and parenting time should be reserved. Obviously, I know the court can't make a determination on custody today, but we are asking that issue be referred due to the issues of the issues that the son has complained of, and the fact that my client has been released from prison. And then we would like interim parenting time to be awarded.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Ogunmola, do you want to go ahead and respond to that?
Well, I didn't have no issue with the kids seeing their mom. The issue was I dropped them off at their grandmother's house, and then I found out that they were in a shelter for battered women, and I didn't know anything about that. And I expressed to Erica, I said, why are the children in a shelter? And she told me that why you acting like your kids are too good to be in a shelter? I said, no, that's not the problem. The problem was I made a promise to myself that they never would go back to a shelter. And that's not where I dropped them off at. So I didn't know what was going on. So we argued, and I told her that I was coming to pick the kids up because they had school on Monday. She told me that no, I can't pick the kids up. Mind you, I have sole custody of these children, and they have school at 8 o'clock Monday morning. This was Sunday. So I went up to Saginaw, and they wouldn't let me get my kids. She wouldn't let me get my kids. So I had to call a friend of the court. I had to call the sheriff department. I had to call the police. Finally, the judge, somebody at friend of the court wrote a petition to, to get the kids out of the shelter to come back to Detroit with me. Mind you, I didn't know anything that was going on with her relationship with the dude and why she was in the women's shelter or anything like that. My son told me a little something about it, but I really didn't know how severe it was. But I mean, I'm just trying to look out for the best interest of my kids. So that was where me and Erica had an issue with, them being back in the shelter, which I did. That's not where I dropped them off at. And that's not where Erica was staying at. She was staying at her mother's house. So I feel like that was just totally wrong. And the only reason why we have the issue with them seeing their mom was because the friend of the court advised me not to allow Erica to see the kids because I'm gonna keep going through things like this with her mom taking the kids and saying that I can't get them back when I have sole custody. So I didn't want to get into trouble. And, nobody's going to tell me that I can't get my kids back when your stuff is not together, and I don't feel safe with the kids even being with you because you got all type of other stuff going on. So that's why she sent the Child Protective Services down here to make a little case about whatever was going on that she thinks is going on, but it was really nothing.
Okay, let me just stop you there. I want to go ahead and state for the record, I am aware that there was a pickup order issued in January of 2021 regarding Ms. Jackson refusing to return the minor children. On that order, it is noted that she was living at the Underground Railroad. Ms. Gus, I can just ask you this. Do you know where your client is currently residing?
She has her own home now.
Okay. Is she renting or does she own it?
Ms. Jackson, you can answer that.
I'm renting, Miss Rodriguez.
Okay, and how many bedrooms do you have?
I have 3. And we're working on my Section 8 right now also, so I can get a bigger place to stay.
Okay, and who's living there with you currently?
Just my kids. Oh, my son, and then I'm pregnant right now, so it'll be my son and then my daughter that I'm going to have in June.
Do you have another son? Are you talking about somebody else other than these children of this case?
Yes, yep.
Okay, so you have another child and one on the way.
Yep.
Do you, are you living with the father of the child that you have living with you right now?
No, hon, he's out of state and, we haven't dealt with each other since the situation that we had together. So, no, I don't know where he is, hon.
Okay, and how long were you incarcerated for?
5 years.
What were you incarcerated for?
Attempted child abuse.
And what children was that regarding?
That was my husband's nephew through marriage.
So that was against your nephew's husband or your husband's nephew?
Yes, yep. That was staying with us. Yes, we are. Yes, we are currently still married.
Is he living there with you?
No, he's still incarcerated till 2022.
Okay, Ms. Gus, I apologize. I just needed to ask a few questions. Did you want to go ahead and follow up on anything?
Just really quick, Your Honor, my client did withhold the children in December. I don't know that she fully understood that, that the father had been granted that order, because he didn't get it until after she was incarcerated for some period of time. And originally the children were placed with her mother. So I don't believe that she actually knew that that order was in effect. And in addition, it was that time when she had concerns that the son had told her that Jabril's girlfriend had physically harmed him to the extent of hitting him in the mouth so hard that his braces broke.
Yes, and she drew blood from his chest also, Heather. Sorry. I want to get a chance to be able to say, you know, what really happened.
So she did have some concerns regarding that. We have talked about the fact that there is that court order and that is a valid order of the court, and she understands that. I think Jabril said, I have no problem with her seeing the children, but friend of the court told me not to, and I'm just worried that she's going to withhold them. He hasn't stated that he has, I believe she has a home. Given his own statements today that there shouldn't be any concerns with her having parenting time. And I do believe that if that the fact that the child was hit to the extent that the braces broke and these other things, and those warrant looking into further. But we are asking the parenting time being granted in the interim. The minor children do live in the Detroit area. So I guess we're kind of bound by, like I said, I recognize the fact we're not getting custody today, but parenting time can resume. Obviously, there's going to be some restrictions given the distance, even if at this point in time it's, alternating weekends until school gets out, and then, standard parenting time until the matter can be looked in further, including the week on, week off for the summer.
Ms. Jackson, are you living in Saginaw?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you currently working?
No, not right now.
Okay, how are you paying for rent?
Well, that was part of the, the help that I got being at the shelter. And that was part of the reason why I went there, besides, what I was going through with my kid's father. I knew that, I had been there before when I had issues, physically with Jabril. I was there before. That's why I told him now they're too good to be there, because, when it was because of him, me and his kids were there, and he never helped us, never cared, but like you said, he made a promise that they wouldn't be there again. And I understand that. But when his girlfriend was putting his hands on my kids, I wouldn't agree.
Okay. Ms. Jackson, do you have a vehicle?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Jabril, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions now. Are you married or single?
I'm in a relationship of 9 years. These kids know her for 9 years, and they call her mom.
Okay, and she's living with you?
Yes, and also she's been there. She takes them to all their dance recitals, to baseball practice, basketball practice. She cooks. She looks at them as if they're her own. And as far as her putting her hands on them, she never did anything. Erica sent Child Protective Services to our house, and they cleared her of everything.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, and the further detail of that situation can be discussed later on with an investigation. But at this time, my position today is to determine whether or not there has been proper cause or a change in circumstances to even review custody and parenting time. Okay. There has obviously been a change in circumstances. She's been released from incarceration. There was a CPS ongoing investigation. I don't have the details of that. It may or may not have been substantiated. So there's a lot of moving parts here.
There's
so
a CPS investigation with her too. They called
Jabril.
Okay.
I understand that. And all of those details can be looked at in the investigation. And if you have any copies of reports or contacts at CPS, you will want to give that information to the investigator.
Okay.
However, since there is a change in circumstances, I will refer custody and parenting time to be reviewed for a possible change. It doesn't mean it's going to change, but there will likely be some parenting time because there's reserved parenting time at this point in the order. Regarding interim parenting time, Ms. Jackson, are you able to travel to Detroit if you have to?
Yeah, right now, hon, if I have to, I will, because, you know, that's what he used to do when I had custody of the kids. He would come and get them when he could. So if I have to, yeah, of course I will. I did it since I've been home, so.
Jabril, I'm going to ask you, are you?
I'm on an important meeting. I already told you, go. Go, Susan, go.
Ms. Jackson, if you could go into a room where there's nobody else in there with you, that would be appreciated.
Yeah, he's in his own room, hon. He keeps coming out here. I'm sorry. He's 7. He keeps coming out here.
Would the two of you, I'm going to order interim parenting time since there's 0 parenting time at this point. Are the two of you in agreement with traveling to Saginaw or Detroit when it's time to initiate your parenting time? Or do the two of you want to agree to a meeting spot in between?
We usually have a meeting spot, which is his parents' house and my parents' house. When he brings them back, he drops them off at my mom's house. And when I pick them up from his mom's house. So I can't know where he's living. So I guess, you know,
we can
know where I'm living.
We can meet in the middle. That's fine. I'm agreeing to that.
Okay. Do you have a suggestion for a meeting point in the middle?
Maybe like somewhere in Flint or something like that, off the freeway, off of 75 somewhere. Maybe like 120 or 110. Bristol or something.
Are you okay with that to me halfway?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't know where he's talking about, but I'll figure it out.
Are there
I know from experience, there's a Kroger on Corona Road, which is, I believe, exit 119.
119. It's right in the middle.
There's a Kroger. It would be east of I-75. Right there. There's a Kroger.
Okay.
Exit 119.
Well, it's Corona Road. Just Corunna, Erica.
So I will indicate that's where you guys are to exchange the minor child. And do the two of you communicate with one another by text?
Not anymore, because I sent his girlfriend some text messages, rude, and they were upset. So he hasn't talked to me since then. I know I shouldn't have did that, but I was upset about her putting her hands on my kids. So I let her know that me and Jabril had been talking, you know, and since then, that's why I haven't really seen them.
Okay.
Well, maybe, Your Honor, they could use the app Close.
That was going to be my suggestion. So what Ms. Gus is talking about is an app. It's called App Close, APPCLOSE. So I'm going to order that the two of you download that. All communications are done through that, okay? They're recorded communications. They can't be altered or deleted or anything like that, okay?
Okay, so we go to a website called app.close.
I'll give it to you afterwards, Erica.
Okay, all right. Okay, thanks, Heather.
On your cell phone, you just go to your applications where you can download different apps. And the app itself is called App Close, APPCLOSE.
Okay.
And then I will order the every other weekend parenting time, and that will be in place until the investigation can be had. So even through the summertime, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what time on Friday is it after they get out of school? What time are we supposed to meet each other?
So the standard is Friday at 6 to Sunday at 6. Is that a time that'll work for the both of you?
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll want to give them some time to get out of school, get their stuff together, and then meet at the meeting spot.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's perfect.
And when does that start?
Well, we'll go ahead and start that this weekend since she hasn't had any parenting time. So that would be Friday, May 14.
Thank God.
And then should they follow like the limited holiday schedule just because Father's Day is coming up? I mean, just in case something like that.
Yeah, let me review that really quickly.
Oh, I wish we could have did it before Mother's Day because he wouldn't even answer my text.
That's all right, Erica. We don't need any comments.
You didn't text me on Mother's Day. What are you talking about?
Oh, you're right. It wasn't that day. It's all the other days I've texted you.
Erica, stop talking. Erica, stop talking.
It's funny.
I think the only holiday,
Yeah. I was
the
gonna
only
say, the
holiday
one
that's
gonna
gonna come
address
into
is
play
Father's
is,
Day. So I
Father's.
will, I
or
will go
why
ahead
don't,
and
instead of doing that, why don't we just put under this rotation, if it's Father's Day, then they just switch a weekend. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
I
that
guess
because
I
of the
could look at a
distance.
calendar.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can look at the calendar now to see how that's gonna fall so we can plan for it. Let's see, Friday, when is Father's Day?
It's actually his weekend. It's June 20th.
Perfect, okay.
Then we don't have to worry about it.
Yep, okay. So at this time, I won't be addressing any of the other holidays. That'll be saved for the investigation. And Ms. Gus, I mean, do you think that mediation would be beneficial for these parties, or should we just go straight to the investigation? I say that because mediation's a little bit quicker.
I don't have a problem going if they want to try the mediation, and if that doesn't work, that is knowing that it then goes automatically on for an investigation.
Yep.
I'm fine with that. Maybe once parenting time resumes and everybody quits being so defensive, they might be able to come to some kind of an agreement.
Sure. So Erica and Jabril, what I just was referring to is the issues of custody and parenting time. I'm going to go ahead and refer that to mediation. That's a third party that is not related to friend of the court. They'll meet with you on Zoom just like this and try to work out a new custody and parenting time plan. If that is not successful, you'll get referred on to friend of the court for investigation, and they will produce a report and recommendation based on that, okay?
Okay.
Mediation is only successful if the two of you are able to reach an agreement. So my order will say if no agreement is reached, then it'll go on to the investigation. That way the two of you don't have to come back in front of a referee, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
The mediation and investigation expenses will be Erica's, since this is her motion. Mediation fees are on a sliding scale and it's all dependent on income. It's not a very hefty fee, but it's case by case. So they will let you know what that is at that time when they reach out to you. The investigation fee, if you have to go through the investigation through friend of the court, is $100. Okay. All right. I think I have addressed everything that's been requested. Is that right, Ms. Gust?
Yes, and the only thing we would ask, I believe that Jabril has been kind enough to allow my client to have daily phone contact with the children, and we would just ask that that be contained in the order that should continue.
I mean, I don't have no problem with them talking to their mom. They each have cell phones.
Good.
But I cannot award a child a cell phone and free range to do all these extracurricular things if they're not taking care of their work. And education is very important to me. So if they're not doing their work and there's some issue with them turning in their assignments on in class and having problems with school, I take their phone away for a day.
Okay, Jabril,
2 days.
at this time, I would just simply ask if you're going to, discipline them by removing their phone for a day or two, or however long you're disciplining them for, just if you can do so through app close, let Erica know that they're being disciplined for whatever reason. Let her at least know what's going on, okay? If for some reason they're being disciplined and their phone is gone for a week or 2 weeks, I think that they should still be allowed to talk to their mom, okay?
Oh, they are allowed to talk to their mom still, but
then I don't think there should be any problems. I don't think we need to even belabor this issue anymore. Hopefully they're not getting grounded every week by any means or getting their phone removed. I hope that's not the case. hopefully they're doing better than that in school. But I would just ask that the two of you just work as best together as you can so that the children have a good relationship with the both of you. Encourage that for one another, okay?
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna prepare this order. I'm just gonna summarize it really quick again. Custody and parenting time is gonna be referred to mediation. If mediation is unsuccessful, you'll go through an investigation. In the meantime, Erica has every other weekend parenting time, Friday at 6 to Sunday at 6. The two of you are going to do all exchanges at the Kroger on Corona Road, okay?
Okay.
The first weekend will begin May 14th, and that's this weekend.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Ms. Gus, can you hang on a second?
Yep.
And then you two are all set, okay?
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Did you want to talk to me, Han?
You know, I'm like, okay, do I make it a point to like tell her to
No.
stop calling me that, or do I just let it slide? So I was like, oh my gosh, I've never had that. That's a first. Smoking and Hun is a first for me today.
Leave it to be my clients, of course.
I know. No, I was gonna tell you and make you aware. I don't know if you've heard, but I'm actually leaving Friend of the Court.
Oh my God, I did hear that, and I was so
Yeah.
sad, but I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. I mean, I told Brittany, I'm like, Brittany, I promise you this was not a reflection of my happiness at my job. I did truly love my job. It was just the opportunity came up for us. And so here we are moving to Arizona
That's
suddenly.
crazy. Good for you. When are you leaving?
We actually hit the road on Tuesday, May 25th. So my last day with Friend of the Court is Friday, May 21st. So next week.
Well, you've done really, really good at this job. I mean, you really
Thank
jumped
you.
right in and did an excellent job, and it's going to be sad to see you go because
Thank you, Heather. I
there's
appreciate
just
that.
so many changes, and
I know. And that's why I really had a hard time. You know, I told Brittany, not that there's ever a good time for somebody to leave your department, but
Exactly.
I mean, I'm leaving when Crystal's going on maternity leave. And because of that, she's not able to fill the position right away because she's got to interview them both. She's got to open it internally for them. So it's just terrible timing. But I said, I'm really, really sorry. And I did love my position. I mean, I was honored to have this position. So
No, you were excellent at it. So your husband got a job, right?
we both did actually.
Oh, you did?